You are about to hear something about yourself that no one has had the guts to tell you yet. And once you hear it, you won't be able to go back to pretending you don't know. This isn't just another motivational speech. This isn't a list of vague New Year's resolutions or positive vibes for your morning. This is a revelation. It's about who you actually are. It's about something buried deep inside you that has been waiting for a long time to be acknowledged. Before we're done, I'm going to give you a 3-step protocol to start living from this new identity today. Stay with me until the end. Do not break this connection right now. I'm going to describe exactly what you've been feeling, not in generalities, in detail. There are moments when you look at your life and you feel like you just don't fit the mold. It's not exactly sadness. It's something between a strange displacement and a deep exhaustion, like you're living in a house that was never really yours. You do everything right. You follow the steps. You keep the faith. But there is this persistent, almost physical sensation that there has to be more. That more should exist. There are nights, especially those after 10 p.m. when the house finally goes quiet and your phone stops buzzing, where you find yourself staring at the ceiling thinking, was I really born just for this? It's not out of despair. It's a question that no one around you seems to have the answer to. A question that feels too old to have started with you. There are times when you're in a crowd, at a staff meeting, or in a packed church service, and you feel this bizarre loneliness, as if no one in the room knows who you really are. Sometimes, even you don't know. There are moments when a single word, a verse or a line in a sermon hits you in a way it doesn't hit anyone else. You can't explain why it moved you that way. You just know it did, and you keep quiet about it. That isn't weakness. It's not a lack of faith. It's a signal. And you found this video today because you desperately needed to hear what comes next. If any of this rings true, smash the like button right now. That like is your public amen. Heaven keeps a record of what you confess openly. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual, with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. Click Amen. Heaven keeps a record of what you confess openly. Here are the 3 things that are going to happen in this video. First, you're going to understand why that feeling of not fitting in isn't a flaw. It's a mark. It's the brand of someone who has been set apart for something most people around you will never grasp. Second, you're going to receive a 3-step protocol you can start tonight to begin operating from your true identity. Not the one the world forced on you, and not the one built by your fears. Third, you're going to leave here with a declaration that will echo in your mind tomorrow morning before the world even has a chance to wake up. And before we dive in, I need to say something directly to you. I knew you before you knew yourself. What you've been calling a burden, I call a mark. What you've called loneliness, I call separation. It isn't what you imagine. It is much bigger than that. Stay until the end. Don't walk away yet. I'm going to give you the signs, not as a motivational checklist, but as a spiritual diagnosis. Each one of them is an identity marker that you've been misinterpreting as a problem. Close your eyes for a second if you can, or just look away from the screen. What I'm about to say requires your undivided attention. Sign number 1. You feel like you've never fully belonged to any group. At the office, you're the outlier. In your family, you're the different one. Even at church, you feel like a guest, You learn to adapt, you learn to play along, but you never get that feeling of, this is where I truly belong. You've called this a social defect. You thought you were bad at connecting or that something was broken in you. It's not that. This is the sign of someone who was meant to pass through environments, not to settle in them. People who are called to change places can never fully belong to them. That's not a deficit. That's your function. Sign number 2. You have a sensitivity you can't seem to control. Music affects you on a level that feels disproportionate. Stories of other people's suffering hit you as if they were your own. Heavy environments stay stuck in your head for hours after you leave. You've tried to toughen up. It didn't work. And you've wondered 1,000 times if there's something wrong with you because you can't just turn it off. There is nothing wrong with you. That sensitivity isn't emotional fragility. It is an unrecognized capacity for intercession. You feel it because you were built to carry what others can't even see. Sign number 3. You carry a weight you can't explain. It isn't clinical depression. It isn't standard anxiety. It's something older, as if you're carrying something that existed long before you, a task that began before you were even born. You feel the weight of the mission before you even know its name. This is the sign of someone carrying a spiritual inheritance that hasn't been claimed yet. The weight precedes the possession, but the possession is coming. Sign number 4. You dream big, but you're ashamed of the size of those dreams. You don't tell anyone what's actually going on in your head. The things you imagine, the things you believe are possible for your life. Because every time you tried to share, someone shot it down. Or worse, you shot yourself down first just so you wouldn't have to hear the no from someone else. That isn't repressed arrogance. That's vision. And a God-given vision cannot be confirmed by people who aren't looking at the same horizon you are. Sign number 5. You've been going deep in prayer, but the visible answers haven't shown up yet. You haven't given up on your faith. You keep praying, believing, waiting. But the world around you hasn't moved, and you start to wonder if the problem is you. If your faith is flawed, if your request is wrong, if you aren't worthy enough. It's not a failure of faith. It's just that some barriers don't break with maintenance prayer. They break with a specific protocol. You've been doing the first when you need the second, and that changes today. If even one of these signs felt like it was written for you, type free in the comments. That word is your yes to what comes next. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. This won't work if your attention is divided. There's a man in the Bible named Gideon. When his story starts, he isn't standing on an altar giving a speech about faith. He's threshing wheat in a wine press, basically hiding in a hole in the ground, terrified of the enemies who had devastated his land and his family. An angel appeared and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon looked around and basically said, "Who? Me? My family is the weakest in the county, and I'm the runt of the litter. You've got the wrong guy." Look at what happened there. The angel didn't describe what Gideon looked like in that moment. The angel declared who he was from heaven's perspective, long before Gideon knew it himself. Spiritual identity always precedes visible manifestation. Gideon didn't become a warrior the day he won the battle. He was a warrior before. He just didn't know it. The angel's declaration wasn't motivation. It was the revelation of a reality that already existed. Now look at a picture from the natural world to reinforce this. Think about how a diamond is formed. It takes 1 to 3 billion years. It happens 100 miles below the Earth's surface, under 725,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, at temperatures over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The result? The hardest material in nature. It reflects light from the inside out. It doesn't get scratched. It's the diamond that leaves a mark on everything else. Before it was a diamond, it was just carbon, the same stuff that makes a lump of coal. The only difference between the two is what they went through. What you've been interpreting as too much pressure, too much time, too much underground darkness, that was the formation process. It wasn't punishment. It was a transformation in progress. Gideon was in that hole doing the bare minimum to survive. That carbon was buried under tons of rock. You clicked on this video today not knowing exactly why. None of the three knew what they truly were until the moment someone, or something, declared it. Type in the comments. Do you recognize yourself more in Gideon or in the diamond? Just the word. Gideon or diamond. Let me stop for a full minute. Here is what is objectively true about you since you've made it this far into the video. You didn't walk away from your faith when you had every reason to quit. You kept praying in secret when no one even knew you were still talking to God. You carried a weight you couldn't explain, and you didn't let it crush you. You felt there was more, and you refused to settle for less. That isn't random persistence. That's a mark. That is a sign of your origin. And here is who you are in the middle of all this. I knew you before your mother knew you. I placed signs along your path that would only make sense right now, because now you are ready to receive the name. What you carried alone, I saw. What you cried about in the dark, I kept. Not as a record of pain, but as proof of identity. You endured because you were made to endure. You felt it because you were made to feel it. You are here because you were summoned to be here. You have 3 identities, and each one of them explains a piece of what you've lived through. The first is the vessel. You were born with a sensitivity that no one in your family could carry without breaking. But you carried it. Every time you absorbed someone else's pain, every time you felt heavy for no reason, every time you felt the weight before you saw the problem, that was training for a specific function. You weren't called just to receive blessings. You were called to be heaven's grounding wire in environments that were closed off. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. This identity authorizes you to walk into heavy places and come out different, not destroyed. It is the capacity to handle what most people can't, without losing your soul. The second is the waymaker. You've never fully belonged anywhere because you were built to move between worlds, between generations, between realities. Every time you felt out of place, every time a group felt too small, every time you felt the urge to leave just when you were getting comfortable, that was the forced expansion of someone who cannot stay stagnant. You are a link between what was and what's coming, between the generation that came before and the one that follows. You aren't lost between 2 worlds. You are the bridge between them. This identity authorizes movement without guilt. It is the freedom to not settle where you were only meant to pass through. The third is the vision bearer. Those big dreams you never told anyone about exist because they were deposited in you, not invented by you. No one imagines what they don't have the capacity to build. Every time you shrunk your vision to fit into someone else's narrow mind, every time you swallowed your words so you wouldn't scare people, every time you waited in silence, that was the temporary containment of something that is meant to overflow. You carry visions that aren't for you alone. They are seeds. Every vision you bring to life clears a path for others to believe it's possible. You don't dream big out of vanity. You dream big because you were assigned to be the proof that the impossible has an address. This identity authorizes you to speak what you see without asking for permission. Type in the comments the name of the identity you recognize in yourself. Vessel, waymaker, or vision. Just that word. It is a public declaration of who you are. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, so the next word finds you already knowing who you are. Now I'm going to deliver what I promised at the start. The Identity Protocol. 3 steps. No cost. Start today. Step 1. Name it. Tonight, before you go to sleep, write down the name of the identity you recognized on a piece of paper. Just the name. nothing else. The act of writing it is a decree. Step 2. Declare it. Out loud, not in your head, but with your voice. Say, I am this identity. This didn't start with me. This was placed in me, and I receive it. Say it 3 times, not as a magic spell, but as a public declaration of faith in what has been revealed. Step 3. Silence. After the declaration, sit in silence for 2 full minutes. No phone, no checking notifications. The sign that the protocol has landed isn't euphoria. It's a quietness, a stillness that comes from the inside. If it doesn't come immediately, don't worry. It's there. Sometimes it takes a few hours to settle, but it's there. You'll know it worked when you wake up tomorrow, and the first word that hits your mind is your identity, not the weight of your to-do list. I have to warn you about what's coming next, because in the next 72 hours, 3 things are going to be thrown at you. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. Tactic 1. The immediate amnesia. It will show up as an urgent distraction, a notification, a phone call, an unexpected problem that needs your attention. Right now, the goal is to get you to walk away from here and never look back. To skip the protocol, to not write the name, to not declare. Your weapon against it. Do step 1 before you hit the pillow tonight. Not tomorrow. Tonight. Tactic 2. The voice of the unworthy. This will come disguised as humility. Who am I to call myself a vessel, a waymaker, or a vision bearer? That's for someone else. Careful. That isn't humility. True humility is acknowledging what God gave you without being ashamed of it. Denying the identity that was revealed isn't being humble before God. It's refusing what God deposited in you. Your weapon against it, the declaration, in step 2. Tactic 3. Comparison. This will hit when you look at someone who seems further ahead, more successful, or more visible than you. The voice will say, see, if you were really who you think you are, you'd be there too. But you aren't. Your weapon against it. Identity is not measured by visible rank. A diamond being formed in the depths isn't seen until it's brought to the surface. You are in the process, not outside of it. And after those 3 external tactics, the most dangerous one will come. The internal voice trying to convince you that everything you heard here was just a passing emotion. That tomorrow you'll wake up the same. That nothing really changed. That voice is the last line of defense for the barrier, because it knows that if you practice this protocol for 3 days straight, it loses its power over you. Don't disappear before the 3rd day. Type protected in the comments. The decree has been sealed. Heaven registers what you declare openly. Now before you go, I want you to do one thing. Drop your shoulders. Uncross your arms. Put your hand on your heart. Plant your feet firmly on the floor. Close your eyes for a moment. Now let go of everything you carried today. The weight of what didn't work out. The tension of the waiting. The doubt about who you are. The voices that tried to belittle the seeds planted in you. Let it go. Right now. You aren't leaving here the same way you came in. And now, the Father speaks directly to you. I was with you on those nights after 10 p.m. when you stared at the ceiling and asked if you were really born for this. I was there. That question wasn't despair. It was the beginning of the search for your name. I saw every moment you were in a group and felt that no one there truly knew you. I knew you. I know you. That loneliness wasn't abandonment. It was separation. I set you apart so you wouldn't confuse yourself with what you are not. The weight you carried without being able to explain it. I placed it there, not to break you, but to prove to you, to yourself, that you could handle what most people can't. Because what's coming to find you requires someone who has already survived the depths. You survived, and now you are at the surface, and you know what you are made of. Those dreams you never told a soul. I planted them. They weren't vanity. They were seeds kept for the right hour. That hour has arrived. Go in peace. You are mine. You always were. You leave here covered, identified, named. And what was named today can no longer be ignored. Not by you and not by anything that tries to hold you back. It is finished. What was delivered here is done. Amen. If this word reached your soul, type "done" in the comments. Not as an end, but as the beginning. What was activated today doesn't end here. And think of someone, one specific person, not a group, who is going through exactly what you were feeling when you started watching this. Someone who stares at the ceiling at 10 p.m. Someone who feels like they don't belong. Someone carrying an unexplained weight. Send this video to them, now. Before you close this tab, just for them. And if they want to go deeper than what they received here, the full protocol, the 21-day path, the bonuses, the link is in the first pinned comment, waiting just like it waited for you. Don't miss the next video. What comes next will pick up right where we left off. Subscribe and hit the bell so the next word comes straight to you. It is done. You are not the same person you were when this message started. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part? You start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video.